Hi everybody, I hope you're doing marvelously well. In this episode, I'm going to do something very requested and very, very simple. I'm just going to explain my guitar rig that I use on 90% of the recordings I do. Now, I work with a lot of solo artists that come in and we produce tracks from scratch with them. Quite often, I co-write the songs. And 99% of the time, I play on them, which is a true blessing. As you know, I am a guitar player originally. That's what I started off. I wanted to be Brian May, like lots of people. And I do play other instruments, drums pretty badly, piano okay, but most string instruments I play, fairly well. And it's a blessing and a lot of fun to be able to work with artists that require me to not only co-write, produce, but also play on the songs. And often these days I am building the song from scratch. As we're writing, I'm playing parts, overdubbing stuff, and by the end of the writing session, we've almost finished the production. Many of the songs that you see on the channel are done that way. So I wanted to show you, as a producer, the most simple, straightforward things that I need to do my job as a guitar player, producer. And it's pretty simple. It's pretty darn simple. I have a Fender Deluxe Reverb amp, and it is the Tone Master. So that means I can stick a mic on it if I like, but I can also come out the back and it has some impulse responses built in. I believe it has a 57 and a Royer 121. I think they call them something else, but that is essentially what those two sounds are. A lot of the time, especially when doing demos, we just plug in the back of the amp and off you go. Obviously, when we're doing mic demos, we put the microphone in front so you can hear the microphone. I love this amp. I really do. It's relatively inexpensive. It's really light to move around because it's not tube, it is an emulation. I know, don't hate me, but I love it. Now, don't get me wrong. I have a lot of other amps. We have an EVH, we have Eric's Mesa Boogie, we have a Laney, we have a couple of Marshalls, we have an Engel, we have a Vox, we have a Carl Martin Rode amp, we have a Pro Junior, we have a little Marshall combo. We have a lot of different amps. But a lot of the time I'm moving really quickly, so I need an amp that's very versatile. And this Deluxe is extremely versatile. The original Fender Deluxe is an amp I kept seeing all the time in sessions. I would hire session players when I was making big albums, and they would always come in with a Deluxe 65. And when I just jumped at the chance to try out the Tone Master version and absolutely fell in love with it. Okay, let me give you a quick synopsis of what I use. So, I'm not joking. I use this guitar every day. Eric can attest, he's behind the camera. I cannot put this guitar down. And yes, it is $499. It's ridiculous how inexpensive it is. It plays like a dream. So the first thing I want to talk about is the amp. I have the amp set to what I would call a crunch tone, meaning if I play it really hard, it's breaking up. Not a huge amount, but just enough. You can also hear some reverb on it. Personally, I always play with a little bit of verb, but you can take it off if you want a totally dry tone. It's got a spring reverb and it's got a bit of a crunch. But the great thing about the crunch tone is if you play it softer, turn the volume down maybe a bit, play slightly softer with your right hand, got a fairly clean tone, one that sounds clean in the track. So pretty darn nice clean tone with the same settings on the amp. Now put the volume back up. Instantly can rock it up. The first thing I like in the chain, which I learned from Tim Pierce, is using a compressor pedal. I didn't realize how often I saw him using it, but it was amazing to get your tone just a little bit more even. So what I have is I have the Compugilist, which is another Fender product, and the compressor here is wonderful. Have a listen, here's the compressor. Just keeps things really super even. Saves me having to compress at all on the mic pre. I don't have to go to the mic pre and then use an external compressor. So for funky parts, really super even. All of those dead string stuff I'm doing is totally audible. Really wonderful pedal. This pedal also has some distortion built in, which I occasionally use. It's got a bass boost on it, which is really nice. Take it off. Drive it a bit harder. So nice for some lead parts, also nice for some... Honestly, it's like AC/DC level distortion. Don't want to play too much of it or we'll get completely blocked. But anyway, all joking aside, a great distortion pedal. It's not my #1 choice though. My #1 choice is, of course, the Noble's ODR1, which is a phenomenal... Absolutely love this pedal. I love the way it works. Really simple controls. You obviously got overall level driving the amp, got a mount of distortion with driver, and then the spectrum control, which is like a mid-range. You can get it really narrow or really full in the... Absolutely wonderful pedal. It has become de rigueur. I think pretty much every guitar player has one on their board, especially essentially all the session guitar players. I've been hearing for years that it was a Nashville favorite. Whenever I go to Nashville, I see people using it. It's an amazing pedal. Now, my delay of choice for a long, long time has been the Carl Martin. This is the Echo tone. I love it because I can make it feel organic. I mean, I can just take the tone off. I'll bring the volume up for you. Bring the feedback up. Just a great... I love how it decays and just like starts off like dark, darker, darker, darker. It's beautiful. I love delays like reverbs because when you're playing like rhythm parts, because 90% of what I do is not flashy lead stuff, 99% even is literally just... And that delay there means that the chord changes, there's no perceptible sort of lifting off of the strings. It's not like when you go... It just blurs the edges. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic delay. Now there's a tempo control, so if I wanted to, I just hit select there and I can just do, you know, like with your foot, you just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Now you've got the... I want to get this a little bit more digital sounding, bring the tone up. I like it because it's completely dumb like me. Echo volume, feedback, tone, time adjustment. It's really, really dumb. I've used this on many, many records. I got this in about 2010, so I've had it for 12 years. I used it on the Aerosmith record that I did, and it's pretty much on every track. Once Joe discovered it, and Brad, it got used a lot because it can be organic sounding, analog sounding, I should say. I don't even know if they still make it. I don't know. All I know is I love it. So that's most of my guitar playing is that. I've got lead tones, I've got two different distortions, I've got the amp obviously for verb, it's also got a tremolo built in, I've got delay from the echo tone, I can have the compression on and off. I tend to leave it on quite a lot, to be honest, because it saves me having to do any work inside of the DAW. Most of the tone I shape on the amp with treble and bass. Frankly, it's 99% of what I get on an album or any kind of single I do. I don't have to do that much work inside the box or through the console or anything. These simple tools do most of what I need. Now, the only things to throw into the equation are a phaser and a chorus of some description. So obviously I discovered the clone theory a while ago because I'm a huge Joy Division fan, and of course Peter Hook is very well known for using it. Also, a lot of chorusing on the new wave stuff that I love and post-punk stuff was the clone theory. It wasn't quite yet the Boss. Now the Boss CE2 is a wonderful pedal, which we also have. We even have the original chorus ensemble, huge one. So here it is, the Boss Chorus Ensemble, an absolutely wonderful pedal. One of the things that's unique about it is the amount of gain you can get from it. Let's see with the level control set, barely on. If you go beyond that, it just drives the amp so hard. I mean, they really, when they were figuring out pedals, they overly engineered, to say the least. You know, it's stereo. You know, you've got a mono and a stereo output, where the CE2, by the time it came out, was just a mono one. Obviously, they made it back into stereo later. But the level, the amount of gain this thing has is ridiculous. It's powered from the wall. It's not a 9-volt. It's built like a proverbial brick, you know what. I mean, this weighs something. If I throw this at Eric and Miss, it's going to dent something. It's a really, really wonderful pedal. And of course, it's got the chorus and vibrato effect like you would see in a JC120. So an amazing pedal. The clone theory is incredible, of course, like we were just talking about. But this is a personal favorite. This is a Volz Flanger. I'm going to plug this one in of all of the ones we're talking about because I want you to hear it. I absolutely love this pedal. Now, my good friend Matt Butcher, Matt, if you're watching, hello, is front of house for Blur and Gorillaz, and is probably one of the greatest sound men of all time. He's absolutely phenomenal. If you've ever seen the Gorillaz live, phenomenal sound. Because I can't remember how many open mics there are on stage, but 20, 30, 40 open mics. Got background singers, drum kit, percussion, guitar, bass, all the instruments that Damon plays, like pianos and ukuleles and acoustic guitars and all that kind of stuff, all going at once. And he always said to me, his favorite flanger was the AMS tape flange. And I was like, why do you love it? He goes, because you don't even have to feed signal through it and it sounds good. He was joking, but listen to that. Hopefully Eric can crank the volume, but it's pretty loud. How cool, how rich, how weird, how wonderful. Turn it off. Now with it on. mess with it and get all kinds of amazing sounds. I love it when you've got two notes that are slightly out from each other, so you can... Like the Boss Chorus Ensemble, it puts out so much output that it just distorts everything in a really great way. If I bring that down a little bit. Absolutely love that pedal. The other thing about it is you can probably find one online for about 30 bucks. Really a fantastic pedal. And I didn't source it. I wasn't like looking for like some vintage, rare, weird flanger. It's just a flanger I bought. And I think there's a lesson in that. There's some really incredible boutique pedals out there, amazing ones. But whatever you do, and I'm going to do more pedal demos because I love playing with pedals, but this is my essential kind of thinking. The reality is like 99% of the time I just need a chorus effect or a flanging effect. I need a compressor. I need a couple of different types of distortion and a clean tone and a delay. The other delay I like a lot is the Carbon Copy. Again, very, very simple. And it also has a little bit of modulation built in. That's the Mxr Carbon Copy. Talking of Mxr, last but no means least is the deep phase. How good is that? Look at it, the baby thing. Let's be honest, Mxr have always nailed the phaser. We all know the slow phasing effect that Eddie Van Halen used to use, but just for funky phasing, I love all the Mxrs, but this deep phase is fantastic. This button here, mode 2, I actually don't know what it does, it just gives me a whole different variation. It kind of makes me just want to like go. Yeah, without getting demonetized or flagged or... So just a handful of pedals. A handful of pedals used judiciously in a creative way will give you so many incredible results. Now, like I said earlier, I do love pedals. If you go and take a look over here, you'll see just how many pedals we've got. So we have a lot of pedals. Tuner pedal, original big, well not original Big Muff, but Russian, Big Muff. We've got Tube Screamer, Sound Tank one. We've got, I think we've got a couple of rats actually. Yep, 2 rat pedals, different iterations for the connoisseurs. One has the light, one doesn't. We've got the Black Country Customs, you know, the Laney stuff, which is absolutely phenomenal. Dan Electro pedals, another Big Muff here. Tons and tons of different stuff. Some custom-made pedals made by my friend Michael Stucker. We have 4 that we might put into production. We've got a little Big Muff that I've had forever. I've had this for so long. It's great, great pedal. We've got some Aguilar pedals. We've got more Carl Martin. We love Carl Martin. We've got a Super Tram. Remember these? These were like all the rage, incredible pedals. There's Boss Octaves, Noise Suppressor, Boss G7 EQ, Line 6 delay pedal. I mean, everything. You know, we've got wah pedals, we've got the Vox one, we've got the, and the Crybaby. In fact, I think we have 2 Voxes and 2 Crybabies. We've got Rotor Vibes. We've got the, here it is, we've got the DigiDesign Whammy pedal. We've got this, which I absolutely love, and it's completely nuts. It's plastic. It's made by Aria. I've had it since I was a little kid, and it is called an Ultra Metal, and it's the worst sounding best pedal ever made. It's just like meh noise and like a buzzing saw. But what's fantastic for it, if you've got that one guitar part you're trying to fit in the mix, you can just sculpt it. So it's just weep, just like high frequency, or the opposite. You can go to just like full low end and take off all the highs. Great pedal. Digitech Metal Master, Boost Kick, Swollen Pickle, you know, the Way Huge stuff. Just really, really great pedals. We love pedals. Oh, the BAE, I can't forget this one. Great fuzz pedal, the Hot Fuzz. So we love pedals. Oh, this is a pedal. Beautiful. This is an Mxr micro amp. Great for driving a tube amp. Like excellent on the Laney for just giving some extra oomph into the Laney. You know, pedal-tastic. We're getting the new UAD stuff to try out, which is absolutely phenomenal. I'm hoping to get all the new Laney stuff as well. I love pedals. And we have different DIs we use on a guitar as well. We'll record through the RN DI a lot. That's our favorite guitar one. It's the Rupert Neve DI. But we also have the Val Garay one by BAE, which is fantastic. We have, of course, the Acme one on bass. Just want to talk about that for a second, which is phenomenal. It really is a case of doing whatever's best for the job. But once again, just to reiterate, as a producer, when I'm moving fast, I have a limited amount of pedals that do all of the sounds that I really want very, very quickly. If you've got a band in and you've got an artist and you want to experiment, it's great to have pedals and have choice. Because when you have that choice, they can get all excited. They can be like, oh, wow, I've heard about, you know, the Rat. I've heard about the original, you know, like the Russian Big Muff. I've heard, and they get super excited. And they get to try stuff, the original Trem unit, you know, and then all these custom-made pedals that we have that Michael Stucker did are all phenomenal and don't sound like anything else. It's a fun thing to be able to have a great choice and get your artist to be excited. So stay tuned. I'm definitely going to do a lot more pedal demos just because I love playing guitar and I love being able to do this. But ultimately, 90% of my work is done with 3 pedals, and then I bring in different modulation effects. And it's really between these 3 90% of the time. You don't need a huge amount, but what you do need is the right amount of pedals to give you enough tonal variation that you know really well and that you can use really well. Again, on this delay, I wanted to reiterate, having the tone turned down makes it more useful to me than it being bright. When it's super bright, it's for a delay effect. When the tone's up, it's a more accurate sound, which is great. And it's great for delay parts like that when you want to have a... But if I want something that just fills, I take the tone down. I can just go... Absolutely love it. Thanks ever so much for watching. As a producer, engineer, or mixer, what pedals are your go-to pedals? Do you have a distortion, compressor, delay, modulation favorite pedal or pedals? Please let us know below. Thanks ever so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Have a marvelous time recording and mixing, and we'll see you again very soon. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, au revoir, adios, toutes zines, adio, ciao, goodbye.